Welcome to MalcolmPresents.com. And our show today is Tush twins with the two cheeks ready, one on top and one on the bottom.
You told us to behave. You said behave.
behave.
The worst thing you can tell us. The worst thing you can say. We don't want to behave. We behaved enough in our life, right?
Listen, I will send I will put you in the corner and you have to give you a note so your parents could sign.
Okay.
No one
You hear
puts
that?
whiskey in the corner. Hello.
Oh no. I don't know, but
Anyway, Max, start the show.
okay, so here we go. We're telling the others to move aside. The ones we actually are our heroes, heroines, whatever you want to call, Lucy and Ethel and Laverne and Shirley and Thelma and Louise and Betty and Wilma and Tina, Amy, all these other people Tina and Turner. Yes, we saw Tina and Turner. And so we are the Tush twins with tales of friendship from Brooklyn and beyond. Maxine Faith, which is moi, and Paula Rose, aka Rusty, the redhead with the hat and the hair that's red. See, it's red, and the lips that are red go with it.
But the question is it natural red?
It's natural red.
Yes, it is.
She's a redhead. She's been redhead since baby time. So
okay, tell the any grays in it if you.
Redheads don't turn gray. We turn blonde. My hair gets lighter and lighter.
Oh, really? Interesting. I didn't know that.
Yes, my grandmother and my uncles and my aunts all had red hair. Total white, platinum blonde. Remember Uncle George, Max?
Yeah,
he was a redhead.
Yep. My grandmother was a redhead, and the only redhead in the family is my cousin Mara's son, Dr. Michael. He's the only redhead of this later generations, even though I'm
the only redhead in my family.
Right, because redheads we have to get the stats on redheads. There's a whole bunch of stats about you, like more than just the brownie me. I'm the brownie, but you are the
Which
redhead.
kind of brownies?
The ones you make, I gotta try. Hey, if they're anything like the cookies, I'm just doomed. I can't even. Anyway, so we're talking about our 60 plus years together, from Brighton to Coney to New York to the burbs and to the universe. So we've seen it all, been through it all, and you've gotten part of our journey, and we know each other so long and so well. Our atomic particles have been joined at the tush.
At the tush, at the
tush.
At the nucleus.
At the nucleus of the tush.
I have a question for you. I'm a bit older than you guys, but when someone mentions 1990 to you or 1995, you think you go back and you think that was just a little while ago, and then you realize it was 25, 30 years ago.
I'm gonna
seems
say
like it was yesterday.
It feels like a little while ago.
To me, it feels like yesterday.
My son was a little guy, and yeah.
But then when you find out it was 30 years ago, you go, oh my God.
Yeah, that's kind of hits you in the face a bit.
Because when we were younger, everything went so slow. I can't wait to be older, have my license and go on my own and travel, blah, blah, blah. Now it's like, oh my God, would you slow down? It's too fast.
You realize the year is, it's August already?
It's almost September. Yeah, it went kind of
Usually this time of the year, my stomach would go topsy because we were thinking of school. Right. And then the worst part, and we started talking about this a while ago, was finding shoes or something for Maxine because of the color.
Shut up. Hey, it's, people, like to have different. Now they have everything, right?
Color of the season.
People wear yellow shoes. I mean, don't look at me.
I've had yellow shoes.
I don't remember whether I spoke to you guys about it, but did you know my cousin Milty that had the Florsheim store on Brighton Beach Avenue?
I know Milty very well. That's how
That's
you
your
look like him.
cousin?
Oh my
Yeah,
God, I knew Milty. I lived
It's
around
like
the
a third
corner.
cousin. It's my mother's aunt's son-in-law. Jeannie,
Oh.
his wife, was my mother's and Francis. She had,
And Francis.
Francis. Oi.
Francis
Milty.
Gottlieb.
Because I used to have to wear very, very special shoes. My feet were so narrow. They would have to get special shoes for me from Florsheim. But I refused to wear them unless it was Buster Brown in the shoe. So we used to get the extra labels and throw them into his shoes, which I didn't know about till I was older. And then if I got it, he would make me sing the theme song in the store.
Yep.
I'm Buster Brown. I live in the shoe. That's my dog Tag. He lives in there too.
That's right.
Does your shoe have a dog inside with a
with
funny place for a dog to hide?
Does your shoe
your
have a
shoe
boy
have
there
a
too? A boy and a dog and a foot in the shoe. The boy is Buster Brown and the dog is Tidy's friend. And it's really just a picture, but it's fun to pretend. So look in the telephone book for the store that sells the shoe with the picture of the boy and the dog inside so you can put your foot into Buster Brown shoes.
But do you remember, I forget what the name of the show, there was a show, I think on Sunday morning, that was sponsored by Buster Brown.
There's a lot of shows with
A lot of
Buster
shows with
Brown.
Buster Brown.
And the announcer was
TF Flyers.
Andy
Heads.
Devine. Remember Andy Devine?
Oh, I got a gal, you got a pal. Everybody ought to have a pal.
Oh, God.
I
She
love
remembers
Andy
that, and I
Devine.
remember commercials. I don't
I'm a
know,
commercial freak.
There was a Buster Brown. I think I remember the show. It might have been the Andy Devine show. Remember Andy Devine with his gravelly voice?
Yeah.
He
And Froggy.
Froggy. Well, that's a little
Uncle John
rascals.
Twanger, Froggy.
Whoa.
There's a place up on Route 100 up here near Somers. I don't know if it's still open, but for years it was open. It's Froggy's Deli, and every time I drove by Froggy's Deli, I go Froggy's. People in the car thought I was nuts, but then they were right. So what can I
Well,
say?
before we get into our theme, Anna was watching this YouTube thing on Kutcher's Country Club.
Oh,
Yeah, I know
up in
it.
the Catskills.
mhm.
And every time they say, I say the Catskills, I just go back to, when I was 18, 19 years old and I worked there as a waiter.
Well, there's actually
Catskills.
a podcast about the Catskills, and it's called the Borscht Belt.
The Borscht Belt, yeah. I think
And
that was it. There's a comedian that I forget the name of the comedian that is like the host. And this is actually more about Kutcher's.
Oh,
Okay, we went to the Raleigh, the Laurels.
I
Where
went
else,
to
Max?
I went to the Neville a lot,
You've been-
and the
'cause
Browns.
your brothers.
The Browns was the big one with Jerry
was
Lewis.
Jerry Lewis.
Right. I went to the Neville because the Tokens would sing there.
Sing
So
Really?
I would go there, and my brothers would supposed to be watch me, and got myself into trouble. We did all sorts of things like shoot rats in the back with guns. Who brings their little sister to
Congrats.
fire a Magnum and a Walther PPK. The Magnum, I pulled the trigger and I went flying backwards.
Phil and Mitch, who else?
Bill and Mitch,
Yep.
and the owner, was it the Schlotsky? I forgot their names, but
Slutsky's? No.
Slutsky, something like that. We were there, a number of times, and they would always go in the back where the garbage was, and that's where you'd find, you shoot the cans, you shoot the giant gallon finished, oil things that were,
And
God.
the rats.
I mean, but the rats, they would shoot rats, and I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. And they would tell, don't tell mom and dad we did this. Don't tell mom and dad we did this. Mom, Dad.
Now you know.
It was like, I did.
But those were great days there in the Catskills. That faded out because I wish I could take my wife back to the Catskills the way it was, but she wanted to go for vacation in the Catskills. But I don't know what the hell to do there now. There are very few hotels that doesn't have that same aura anymore.
The
Right.
Raleigh still does. The Raleigh's still there.
It's still there?
You there?
Yeah.
The Raleigh?
I think that's one of the last of the Mohicans.
Because now
I
it's
think.
Because then now a lot of it is mainly ultra Orthodox Jews.
Well,
Well,
A
it
lot of the
was not
kids.
Orthodox Jews when we went. It was
No,
Reformed, conservative. It's regular,
regular
normal,
Jews.
regular
it was
Jews,
the
like us.
upper middle class from New
We're
York.
regular Jews.
Well, I think,
I was middle class.
but I remember when, of course, when you went to the Catskills, the more you paid, the bigger your bedroom was. I mean, that was basically it was like a bedroom that they
Right.
put you in, and the amenities, bigger the hotel, the more expensive, like the Gross Singers or the
Which one
Concord
had,
had more of the amenities.
I remember going ice skating in the summer. I thought that was something because it was inside. I don't know if it was
Oh, yeah.
Grossinger's or
Or,
one of the big ones. I don't
or,
know.
or indoor pools.
Indoor pools I saw before, but ice skating rinks inside,
Inside.
we're Brooklyn kids. You went to the Walmart, you went to Prospect Park. You didn't go indoors to a rink.
Getting back to my
It's
story about the bedroom.
the Raleigh Hotel is still open
Oh,
in
Really?
Colesburg, New York.
how
Yes.
much is a room?
I'm gonna tell you in a second. I'm looking.
Wow, who'd have thought?
Because that was with 3 meals a day and
3 meals a day,
snacks.
all you could
Three
eat.
meals. The meals were insane. You would roll out after eating. I
Mhm.
mean, there was everything and anything, and people just it's like Monty Python. One more bite. One more
Yeah,
One
bite.
moment. Do you remember my father? It's like, oh, you could get as many main courses you want. My father said, this was good, but let me try the other one.
Right, it was
Right.
such a waste because a lot of people would, let's
It was
say,
a waste
get the
of
steak,
food.
take
Yeah.
2 bites.
Oh, they have cottages now. They never had cottages.
Well, that's new.
Hmm.
I don't think they
Anyway,
had kind
getting
of,
back to
but
my story about the bigger and better bedroom. Well, my first year at WNEW TV. Was it WNEW? Yeah. Uh, uh, there was a subway strike, so all the vital people were put up in a hotel. And even though I wasn't, they gave me a hotel room at the Waldorf Astoria.
oh, that's a nice place to be.
And I walked into the Waldorf Astoria, right to the room.
Mm-hmm.
You go into this huge living room with a chandelier and a dining room table and a couch facing the fireplace. And I thought, what the hell is this? I expected a bedroom. Where's the bed? You go into the other room and it's a bedroom with 2 king-size beds that look lost there. It was small. Plus they had a kitchen.
Wow.
And I'm going, I said, this is a hotel room.
Yeah,
I don't know how much it
I
costs.
guess they really got the upper end of it because there's hotel rooms in the Waldorf that are tiny.
This was that room, and I didn't know who the hell stayed there.
This was the TV. This was media. They gave you a room.
Yeah, I was sorry the strike ended.
Yeah, I guess
I was living in Brooklyn in Sheepshead Bay.
it's a lot easier to go to
Mi-
walk to work from there.
Yeah, met my mother.
Oh boy. Wow, that's something else. I don't know. I mean, there's
Um,
strikes and then there's strikes. I don't know if that particular one affected me at all.
Yeah,
What were they
well,
striking for?
what else for money?
More wages. Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense. But anyway, so I don't know. Did you find out the room maps or didn't?
They didn't say you have to put your credit card in first. No, thank you. But here's
Why
the
do
thing,
they
the
do
pictures
that?
look exactly the way they did the same color burgundy carpeting. The walls are painted, but they have the same burgundy ugly carpeting.
Oh my God. I hope it's
But they
not
now
fun.
have cottages.
Oh, well, they're trying to appeal to the millennials or something. I mean, what are they trying to do? They
Well, the
still have
Catskills went down. I think it was like in the 70s. There used to be a place where all New York families would go. New York, New
Yeah,
Jersey.
we used to go, my mom at the couples club from the temple,
Right.
or the sisterhood, we'd all go.
You could play all the games there, and
Mhm.
they had the social hosts that would organize crowds, and
Mhm.
and Gross Singers. I think the big thing was Simon,
Simon said,
Simon Says.
and I
That
forget the
was-
name of the
those were
guy.
What?
I forget the name of the
He's
guy that always
stuck.
said he was famous for that, for leading
oh,
Simon.
yeah.
He was famous?
He also came to the Raleigh too. He'd go
Yeah.
from hotel to hotel.
And Kutcher's was known for the basketball games. They had like professional they had, as the waiters and busboys, some of them were, top college basketball players. As a matter of fact, Will Chamberlain was a bellhop
No.
at Kutcher's. And
Will Chamberlain was could you imagine him taking your bag?
well,
Wait, hold it.
well, two things he was noticed.
Hello.
Yes,
may I take your bag?
If your room was on the
just
first,
take you to
if
your
your room
room.
was on the first floor, he didn't have to walk up. All you had to do is look out the window and he would lift it up to the first floor.
Oh God.
And the other thing was, I
Oh
think
my
he still
God.
has a record for being able to hold the most valises under one arm.
Really? Is it a
He's
Guinness record?
big-
Yeah, I think so. I'm not sure.
Oh, well.
But
I just
yeah.
remember going to these hotels, the Laurels, the Raleigh, the Kutchers. And the one thing I do remember is you get up, you have breakfast. Then you go play shuffleboard, then you have a little nosh. Then at lunchtime, they're all standing in front of the door waiting
for them to
open. And as soon as the doors open, it's a stampede.
It's
You
like a
sit,
mad
you
rush.
eat, and they all, and then the food's gone, they all get up together and they leave. And they play shuffleboard, they go to the pool, they do archery, they do all kinds of stuff. And then around 4 o'clock, you go to the coffee shop, have a little nosh before dinner. And it's 6:30, 7 o'clock,
Dinner time.
and everyone's there. And they, like again,
Rush.
like elephants running and stampeding.
I don't remember, because did they have alcohol there or free booze?
Yes, they did, but not at the dinner time. You had to buy this. Then they had on Saturday nights after Shabbat, they would have a cocktail party
Right.
for the sisterhood. So my father, we couldn't afford, he didn't drink really, but there's free booze.
Right. There you
Free
go.
cocktail. So we went there. My father would get Gibson's just so he could eat the onions.
Oy vey. And I'm sure Izzy was there, not far behind.
Oh,
and the
Izzy and
the both
Betty
of them
and
would get
parents
drunk as craziness. I mean, Izzy
because that's the only time they get drunk.
and Chick. Oh no, all my mother's New Year's parties
Oh yeah, I'm saying that, and
my brother's wedding.
No, my father never got drunk.
Oh, okay. Izzy and Lenny screaming, Mitch, don't do it. Okay.
My father, who very rarely drank, but when he did, one drink, he was like your father,
Zouse.
very rare.
Because
but
they
when
don't.
he did
My dad
drink-
didn't. My dad didn't drink. He smoked pipes.
He
Yeah.
smoked-
My
I thought
dad
you
smoked
said-
pipes
smoked
too.
pipe.
I thought you were
Yeah,
gonna
my
say he
dad
smoked
smoked
pot.
pipe. No,
My
not
dad-
my father. Oh, no.
My brother.
But my
not
father
mom.
at her brother's wedding, all of a sudden I hear in the back of the thing with Izzy holding the door, Mitch, don't do it.
Yeah. They literally, they screamed out. We had to stop them. I mean, I'm about to walk down the aisle. I was like a maid of
They
honor
were
or something.
laughing. They
Bridesmaid. I was a
couldn't hold
bridesmaid, and it was like, oh my God,
Oh,
you've
yeah.
got to be kidding me. And they were cracking up, and they had to almost like escort them out. It was
Whose wedding was
crazy.
this?
because they only had one drink each.
But was he right? He shouldn't have gotten married?
Well,
I
yeah,
will
that's
not
besides
answer
the
that
point.
question on this air. On the grounds, I plead the fifth. Goodbye.
Francis' ex-wife might be listening to this.
Well,
I like
No, he's
Sherry.
not.
we're all okay. We
We're
never
okay.
we really whatever bad blood it is.
There is
is
no more
kind
bad
of, at
blood.
this point. It's what we don't want it. We just don't.
It's funny though. Sherry's hysterical at the wedding, and I think it was Neely's or Laura's when she came over, introduced me. Oh, this is Auntie Cuckoo.
Yeah, they
Well,
could-
Remember? And
Oh no,
Yeah,
she
she
introduced me one time to someone. She goes, "Here's my ex-sister-in-law."
and me goes, and this is Auntie Cuckoo. That was
Right.
at the wedding.
Right. So, oh God. Well, anyway, so we wish everyone well and
Yes.
all
All the
right.
rest could go to
Now,
hell.
what were we gonna talk about initially?
It's
You
not
had a
going to
talk about
happen.
It's not
because
gonna happen.
Not now. There's too much to cover and not enough time. I'm not even going to go there.
We'll do
I
that
remember the
next week.
first time I got drunk. I very rarely get sick drunk.
You told us last time you were like drunk and driving a car and got
Right, but I
pulled
didn't-
over
I
by a
didn't-
cop.
I didn't
What are
get
you
sick.
talking about?
I didn't get sick. There's
Oh,
the
you didn't get
difference.
sick.
Where
Where I threw
Oh.
up. I went the first time, it was a friend's parents' 25th anniversary. So I must have been like 19, 20 years old. And the big mistake was my mother was there.
Oh,
Okay, well.
And I just
that's a
started
mis-
drinking, and I just started drinking, drinking, I was fine. Then my friend comes over, he said, I dare you do this, and he has a water glass and he fills it up with scotch.
Oh,
Oh
God.
my God.
Right.
I would
And
have been puking my
and I
guts out
finished
by then.
Yeah,
Oh,
well, I don't drink
it
any
took
of
me
that.
about 5 minutes, and for the rest of the night, I was in the bathroom throwing up.
Just serves you right.
Maxine and I got drunk once, but we lost hours.
We
One
weren't
time.
drunk. This was one time. You
One
can tell it.
time.
You tell it.
Okay. We
Tell the
were at
story.
PJ Clark's for dinner.
That was
And we're
on
supposed to be home. It's on Third Avenue
Third
and
and
50 something
50th
street,
or something. Right.
52nd or whatever. So we're supposed to be home around 7:38. She had to go to Riverdale. I was going to Queens and Flushing. And we're supposed to call our husbands at the time, but her husband now, but mine at the time, to be home. And when we're leaving the city, because we're taking the train, she's taking a train. We're drinking Dubonnet cocktails because that was the thing to drink back
Dubonnet.
then.
Yeah, put your thumb up.
Dubonnet.
You put the thumb up.
And they gave good like food with it too, though. I mean,
Yeah, we had really good hamburgers. Hamburgers are the best. Clark's. That was the famous for hamburgers.
Yeah.
And their blue potato fries.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Blue potatoes.
We call them blue potatoes.
That's Ivy, right?
That's my sister's because she couldn't. Everything was blue, so she wanted yams. She'd go, "I want blue potatoes."
Right.
So Maxine and I, from that day on, we call them blue potatoes to this day.
Thanks, Ivy. Okay.
Thank you. So we had a wonderful dinner and we're talking and we're talking
for hours.
I don't even know what happened because I don't even remember half the conversation. And all of a sudden I look at my watch and I'm going like this. I'm really tired, Max. I look at my watch. It's 12:30, 11:30, 12 o'clock at night.
I think it was like 11, something like that. 11.
Yeah, it was late for us.
And there was no cell phones.
We had to run through
this was late 70s.
Phone booths.
We had to run to a phone booth at night.
Yeah, in
not
PJ
a good
Clark's.
idea.
No, it was in PJ Clark's, but they had the old wooden phone booths.
Right.
Yeah, the old. So we ran in there and we called them. They're going, we were worried. We didn't know where you were. Blah, blah. We had to take cabs home. I'm saying, oh my God, I hope I don't even remember getting.
We had enough cash for a cab. You got into a cab. I got into a cab. I don't know if I had some extra money because I said Les is gonna meet me. I'll have the cab driver wait so he can give me cash. So I think I gave you some of my cash so you can get home. It was like
no, Mark. No, I had $5 on me, and that's exactly what it cost.
I think I
So
gave
maybe
you.
I
gave you a 5
No tip?
10.
No, that was $5 with the tip all the way to Flushing.
Oh.
Yeah,
that's back when
Riverdale. They didn't like to go. You had to pay like more money. They just didn't want to go up to that area because they would never get a ride back because it's like Sleepy Town.
Well, and Flushing also was a great time. Either it was really strange up there.
I drove a cab on the weekends during college and sometimes when I was working, periods of unemployment because I was in the advertising and film business in New York. So there were in between times. Right. And I got a hack license and
you just drove it.
Yeah, my ex-husband did that while he was going to school.
Yeah,
I remember. I remember that.
He supported his way through school.
And that's why I'm never in a hurry. Because I would drive in Manhattan during the daytime. You can't be in a hurry.
Well, you get
no place to go.
It's all right. They'll start congestion pricing. No one will come to the city anymore. No one's going to come to the city. Period. If they put that in place, they're I think on the wrong path at this point with that.
They do that in London. All
I know.
over London.
This is New York.
They have
London.
to stop. I know, but it's horrible. We had to stop at this grocery store to get a ticket to put on our thing so we could go through.
Yeah, I don't foresee this being a good idea, nor do I. I mean, I'm not that I want. I mean, the idea of having less congestion is okay, but at this point, they're going to just take it out on people. And what if I come over the Henry Hudson and I'm paying a toll to come in from that part of the Bronx, and then they're going to make us pay again, unless sometimes sees patients in the city. You're penalizing him. That's not fair. No, so there's going to be lawsuits flying. I can tell you. That I know for a fact. So
Flying lawsuits. Woo!
Well, I know it's a pedestrian. There should be
flying.
like, well,
Not even drinking.
well,
Seltzer, anyone?
the
I don't
greatest
know.
thing about closing the streets, I think what they did is when I still lived in Manhattan, is when they closed Central Park.
Well, that's
Oh,
one
yes.
thing.
They-
They closed
That's
it.
Central Park. We're
They
talking about
closed them.
the whole city, like you would have to spend $20 to get cross over 60th Street, like from anywhere.
Well, the old joke was when I was driving a cab, is how do you get at the mid-morning rush? How do you get from the east side to the west side? The
Walk.
which says no,
That's
you
it.
can't. You had to be born there.
Right. Exactly. Right. I mean, getting cross town could be, you know,
Get it? Because you would go through the garment center, and all these
Mhm.
trucks would be triple parked.
yeah, I don't know how they're
When,
gonna
when
do
I drove a
that.
cab, since I really didn't care what I did with it, I would hop when there was a driveway. I'd hop on the driveway, drive in the sidewalk, and then
Mm.
come off in the next driveway. That's the only way to get by.
Oh God.
Oh, not anymore. They'll
Of course,
get
I
you for
killed 3
that.
people,
They,
but
they try. You try that now. There's
I heard that.
cameras everywhere, Malcolm.
well, I get
This
a
would
mix.
not be flying. We're talking what is this 60s, 70s? What?
This is in the late 60s, early 70s.
Okay. See, then nothing could happen. You can, they can come out and do whatever and they'll never find anybody. Today, every corner there is a
It's a
camera.
camera.
Well,
And
I don't know if
in
you ever watched
stores and everything.
I don't know if you ever watched the show, the FBI, or anything involved with that.
Yes.
But
Yes, I
something
do.
happens, and the guy said, "Oh, get me the camera on 60th Street." And
Mhm.
First Avenue, you get the camera,
Right.
and
Yeah,
you
yeah.
could follow somebody as he exits the building.
Yeah.
Walking in the streets, going down the subway, and then you get the subway
Yes.
camera.
Yeah.
Yep, they do that CSI, FBI
And
show.
then
There's cameras everywhere.
Face identification. And God, there's no privacy.
Yeah, well, except when you're trying to catch criminals, you want the cameras there. So,
Well, yeah, I
there-
mean,
there's a trade-off. I mean, during the pandemic and now, actually they're saying the crime rates have come down a bit, but there's been a lot of crime in the subways, there's been a lot of crime
Yes.
out. There's a lot of
But
guns they're trying to
sometimes
get.
the Maxine, what about those cameras? Our friend, what's his name from the radio station? He invited us to go to the game. We didn't go. We saw him with his girlfriend. His wife was watching.
Oh, we won't say who that is.
Nope.
Oh,
Do you remember
yeah.
that? He said,
Caught
"Oh my God,
red-handed, baby.
they did a kiss cam."
That's right. No names shall be used right now.
No,
But anyway, yes, that's true. That's
Yeah,
true.
but what was his name?
Nah, I ain't
No,
getting it out. You
that's-
ain't getting it out of me. You ain't getting it out of me. But anyway,
Another scotch for that lady, please.
yeah,
Mhm.
sure. Ain't gonna help. I don't drink scotch. So
I
it
do.
doesn't- I don't.
Oh, mm.
This
I
one
drink
is
scotch and
well,
bourbon.
well, we'll have to do a show about you and bartending. You used to bartend. And we have
Yes.
to do a separate show of you doing that because I don't know how.
I could do it. I could
remember-
make drinks and show people how to do it on the
You
air.
should bring, can you do a demonstration one time?
Yes, I'll bring it down to the bar
Absolutely.
and do a demonstration. how
That
to
would
make
be
all kinds of
awesome.
drinks.
What was that movie with, I think it's Tom Cruise, that was a bartender and he flipped the.
Cocktail or
Yes.
something.
Cocktail.
Cocktail.
No, I couldn't do that, but I make a really good
Yeah,
martini.
he would flick the
Right.
bottles up in the air, twist it, turn around.
Aruba, Bahama, hey, you
Oh,
pretty
the
mama. That was
pretty
the Beach
mama.
Boys did the song. Kokomo. They did the song.
You know what I
Kokomo.
object to in movies? It makes drinking so fashionable, so desirable.
So they make
Oh, the
drugs
Thin
and
Man.
smoking. They make everything more
They were
fashionable.
even smoking marijuana, which I don't object to, but they're popularizing it so much. It's like in the old days when people were smoking cigarettes
Mhm.
and all the big time actors. It was cool.
Yeah,
I
well,
think we talked about the movie. I think it was Now Voyager.
it's when they
where
Oh,
get
I know,
Tom
the
Connery
two
lights
cigarettes
up
in the
2
mouth.
cigarettes, light one up for
Yes,
Beth.
and that's one of my favorite movies.
Well,
I'm
that's
a
a
baby
scene, that's a
Davis
cool
freak.
scene actually. But yeah, no, but also violence. I mean, there's so much violence in on movies, TV, video games. How do
Yeah, I
you
don't like-
separate the non-reality of those things versus the reality?
But the big thing, and now that they were talking about the fatalities is high now in driving and the
Yeah,
accident.
because they're texting, they're not paying
Yes.
attention.
They're talking on the
And
phone and like
talking on
this,
the
without
phone.
holding on, they're not paying
And-
attention.
They're not-
Anyway, guys, I loved our show on aging.
That'll be next time.
But-
That'll
but-
be the well,
Hold
wait.
on. One thing before we leave, Maxine, do you remember the video game we used to play when you run over people and crosses would come
Yes.
up?
Yep.
So
I remember that.
today, in driving by, I'm seeing on the road that these poor people that died, but the crosses everywhere. It
Really?
felt so bad. Yeah,
Uh,
depressing.
Oh, God, that's
Anyway, Max, wrap it up.
That's so bad. So we didn't get to anything we wanted to. So we'll do that topic another time.
We never do.
And then though, we got to have the
I'll do the
you're gonna do
cocktail
you're gonna
hour.
do the drink. You're gonna do the bartender. You're gonna
Actually, what we have to do is do a show over the weekend, starting Friday night and not ending till Sunday brunch.
with us too. Oh
Right,
God,
24.
it would be probably insane.
And you could be
if
joined
it's
by
just
your
the two of
husbands
us.
and have some, just the
No,
two of you.
no.
I'm gonna stay on the side.
No, if it's no, I mean, if
Yeah,
it's,
you, of
if
course
it's
you,
the
but
two
just
of
the two
us,
of us.
right? If it's the two of us,
It would go.
and you would right, and what we would do on a weekend, especially if we went to the city, that would be awesome. And we could video it, we could tape it.
Do it, and I'll put it on
We
anyway.
could sing through
Say goodbye,
Bloomingdale's.
Maxine. Say goodbye, Paula. We'll see you next
Goodbye.
week.
All right.
Bye.
This is the
fun.
Tush Twins, malcolmpresents.com. And soon we're going to get some more social media. I keep saying that all the time, but
We will.
we're going to do
I'm
it.
having this whole group we're gonna put together.
Bro,
we
we need a Tush Twins. We need to be able
Sponsor.
to tweet or whatever. Tush
The
Twins
Tush
tweet.
is tweet. Tush is-
This twins will be a comic relief because I'm getting into like the many shades of green, more
Yeah.
serious topics. But
We're
we're the
gonna-
comic
the
relief.
many
Many
shades of
shades of-
green.
This
No.
is many shades of everything.
No, what's going to happen is when this one gets into her future business shortly,
Business. Then
that's
really
going to
the
be the many shades of green, and that we're going to have a whole new show. That's going to be a whole new show.
And then I'll have a cooking show with it.
Good.
Bye.
Hello. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bon appetit.